Cardi finally accepted to pay Offset spousal support. And this man done asked for 70% of everything?
On October 6th, 2025,
I will not contact this person for a month. I will not give in. I will not forgive this easy. I will not go back. I will not go to the patterns. I will not go through it. But I was crying every day. I was hurt every day.
the On Purpose with Jay Shady episode featuring Cardi B hit the airwaves. And let's just say,
I was out here in LA in a mansion by myself. I was thinking about it every single day. And when your heart is not done, your heart is not done. I'm pregnant. I'm going to accept my flaws, the flaws that I bring in this marriage. I'm going to apologize for it, and I'm going to work on it.
fans were not ready for what she revealed. The whole episode centered around her emotional healing journey after that messy breakup with Offset, and she got real about how deep the pain went. Cardi opened up about being all alone in Los Angeles, trying hard to move on and not reach out to him, but her emotions had her spinning in circles. She confessed that no matter how much she tried to cut him off somehow, she always ended up back in the same situation again. It was like she couldn't escape the cycle, no matter how much she wanted to. Then she dropped a bomb.
Yes, I'm having a baby with somebody else. So what? That happens. It's life. Let me tell you something. I did things the correct way the first time. I fell in love. I got 2 rings in my finger. I lasted 7 years. 7 years that I didn't have to last with somebody with. I lasted 7 years in a marriage.
Saying she finally took accountability for her part in the chaos. But even then, it didn't fix anything. I took accountability, she said, and it didn't work. That line hit hard. You could hear the heartbreak and frustration in her voice. The energy was raw, emotional, and full of that signature Cardi realness that fans can't ignore. So she walked away, but the wild part...
Stop saying, oh, but you're still married. No, I'm legally separated. The only reason why I'm still married is because somebody wants me to pay for the taxes. Y'all want to know the tea? The only way I can get out of my marriage if I pay for somebody else's taxes, even though I pay for my own, and give them one of my properties. I'm fighting for that. I'm gonna fight for that. This is not no love And like I said, I'm not gonna stop living my life because on a contract, I'm practically still married because somebody want to hold me hostage if I don't give them millions of dollars to get out of it.
Her reward for taking accountability when Offset wouldn't was straight up chaos. She revealed that Offset allegedly refused to finalize the divorce unless she jumped through hoops first. He supposedly wanted her to cover certain payments, handle some back taxes, and even sign over a few properties before he'd let her go. Like, what kind of deal is that? And that's where today's drama takes a shocking turn, because now fans are furious. The talk on social media is that Offset is demanding spousal support, and not just that, he allegedly doesn't want an even 50-50 split.
When I take accountability and you take advantage of me taking accountability and you take that as a, see, I know she'd be back instead of me taking accountability and you taking advantage of that, it really just killed everything.
Nope. Word on the street is he wants a 70-30 split in his favor. That's wild. Now, it's important to note, this is still a rumor circling all over the internet, and there's no solid proof yet. But people are losing their minds over it. Many believe Cardi might actually end up paying Offset in the settlement, which has everyone asking, why would she agree to that? And just when fans thought things couldn't get any messier, another rumor started spreading, that Cardi B might be pregnant again, but not by Offset, allegedly by Stefon Diggs. Yep, the NFL player. The internet exploded with speculation, memes, and side-by-side photos. People online are saying, did Cardi really move on that fast? While others think it's all cap. Just another wild rumor in the Cardi and Offset saga that refuses to die. That rumor's been spinning like wildfire. But the real question is, what could make Offset this bitter toward Cardi B? There's more to it than just cheating. And that's the part people aren't really talking about. Everyone knows Offset's been caught stepping out before, and Cardi herself even admitted she wasn't perfect either. But there's one thing, one brutal move that could make any man straight up despise you if the relationship's already falling apart. So check this. Remember that picture Cardi posted? Yeah, the one where she dressed up Offset's son with the same hairstyle as Stefan Diggs. That post had the internet gasping. Fans couldn't believe she'd go there. Cardi has a history of talking reckless. She'll mention people's kids, drag her enemies, and hit below the belt if she feels disrespected. But this was next level messy. It was pure shade, and everyone knew it. Offset was furious. On June 3rd, 2025, he went off online posting that now famous message, "When somebody get to playing with my son, then call me the crash out. I don't care how I look. Trolling with my kid ends bad." And honestly, a lot of folks agreed with him on that one. You don't bring someone's child into the drama. That's crossing a major line. Now, nobody's saying Offset was innocent. He's admitted to his mistakes before. But what Cardi did hit deep, and for a lot of people, that moment marked the point of no return. After that, the tension turned toxic. There was no saving that relationship, not after kids got dragged into the crossfire. Now imagine being Offset in that moment. You see the woman you built a life with, the mother of your child, rumored to be pregnant by another man, and then she uses your own kid in a post that looks like shade. That's a breaking point for any man. Offset might take jokes about himself, but when it comes to his kids, that's a whole different story. He doesn't have secret children running around. Everyone knows that. But seeing your own child used in a messy situation with another guy, that's unforgivable. And honestly, if we're keeping it real, most people would lose it too. If Offset decided to clap back or even to score somehow, people might not agree, but they'd understand. Because once you hit that low, you gotta know it's personal now. But here's where it gets even deeper. Folks keep forgetting how much Offset actually did for Cardi in the beginning. Yeah, she was already popular, an Instagram sensation, a reality show star with that fiery personality. But she wasn't a full-on hip-hop artist yet. She didn't know the ins and outs of the industry. Cardi herself even admitted that before Offset came into her life, she was getting scammed and played in the music business. She didn't know who to trust, and people were taking advantage of her. Offset was the one who helped her navigate the game. He connected her with the right producers, helped shape her sound, and even wrote or co-wrote several of her early hits. So when people act like Offset didn't contribute to Cardi's rise, they're rewriting history. A big part of her success came after he stepped in and helped her level up, which makes this whole situation way more complicated, because behind all the drama, betrayal, and rumors, there's also a lot of history, loyalty, and pain tangled up in this messy breakup. And now, here comes the elephant in the room. Here's the part nobody wants to admit, and it's about to get real. Everybody's out here mad that Offset supposedly wants money from Cardi, but let's ask the real question. If Cardi's that rich, why couldn't she bag a man who had more money than her? Damn, that's the truth people keep dodging. See, that's the thing most folks don't understand. When you're a woman with power and fame, finding a man who matches your level financially and emotionally gets tricky. Sure, you can find someone with a similar bag, but will it actually work long term? That's where it falls apart. Take this as an example. Imagine Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion together. It sounds wild, right? But even if they linked up, do you really think Klay's putting a ring on it? Nah, he might date her for a year, have some fun, keep it flashy. But marriage, that's not happening. Because when a man's got major money and status, he usually doesn't tie himself down to someone whose image screams chaos or competition. And that's the same story with Cardi B. A man with massive wealth and a clean brand ain't risking it all for someone like her. Too unpredictable, too loud, too risky for that billionaire lifestyle. So what did Cardi have to do? She had to invest in a husband. Offset was the best option she had at the time. Someone flashy, famous, connected in hip-hop, and willing to ride her wave. It wasn't a business deal on paper, but let's be real. Love or not, that relationship was part hustle, part survival in an industry where image means everything. Cardi played her cards the best she could. But now, those same cards might be turning against her. Now let's talk about this Stefan Diggs situation, because let's be honest, he's definitely the type who might give Cardi a baby, but marriage, that's a whole different story. And deep down, Cardi knows that. That's probably why she's okay settling for less this time around. At this point, she seems tired. Tired of the drama. Tired of trying to hold it all together. Maybe just wanting to live wild and free for a bit. She's out here doing her thing, living life on her own terms. And hey, if that's what she wants, that's her choice. But here's the cold truth. No stable, responsible man is signing up to deal with someone like Cardi full time. Not a man who's really got his life in order. You won't see a Jay-Z type locking her down. Someone polished, powerful, and strategic. Cardi's too unpredictable, too controversial for that type of energy. Let's not forget, this is the woman who made WAP. That alone tells you the kind of men she tends to attract. When your image is built around wildness and shock value, the men who step up usually aren't thinking about marriage or long-term plans. They're thinking about fun, status, and clout. So yeah, she might get flings or a baby with a man who's got money and power, but settling down, that's not happening with a guy who's truly got it together. So when people start getting mad that Offset might want her money, maybe they should ask a deeper question. Why hasn't Cardi managed to find someone better than him yet? Because at this point, that says more about her situation than it does about Offset. And here's the real kicker. A lot of women online are angry because they see this as a warning sign. It's a reflection of what's happening out there. Powerful women realizing that money doesn't always buy respect, loyalty, or love. And that realization, it's hitting hard across the board. See, a lot of women out here are missing what's really going on. The writing's been on the wall for a while now. The dating game has changed, and it's not looking too good for the so-called independent boss ladies anymore. All around the world, men are switching up the rules. They're no longer automatically signing up to be the full-time providers. That old school deal is fading fast. And you know why? Because the last 20 years flipped the whole system upside down. With equality, independence, and all that "I don't need a man" talk, a lot of guys decided, cool, then I'll play the game too. Now, men are just as opportunistic as women when they're hurt or when money's on the line. If you've got the bag, best believe somebody's coming for it. We're seeing it everywhere. Men going after women's retirement funds, demanding spousal support, and fighting for houses in divorce court. It's wild, but it's real. That's the new price of leveling up and choosing partners who don't have more than you. It flips the power dynamic completely. And here's the thing, a lot of women aren't even trying to appeal to men with power anymore. Their focus is on impressing their industry, their fans, their audience, not a stable man who could actually build with them. They'll spend all day polishing their brand, chasing followers, and staying relevant. But when it comes to finding a partner who's solid and dependable, that's not even on the radar anymore. And look, it's understandable. Survival in this world ain't easy. You gotta secure your bag and protect yourself first. But what people forget is that when you chase the spotlight instead of balance, you end up alone, surrounded by drama, lawsuits, and opportunists waiting for the turn to collect. Here's the hard truth. When you stop appealing to the right kind of man, you end up attracting the wrong kind every single time. Those smooth-talking types who come in strong, love bomb you with attention, gifts, and promises, making you feel like you finally found peace after all the chaos. At first, it feels perfect. He's helping you, supporting you, saying all the right things. But deep down, he's a financial risk waiting to explode, because the second things go left, when the love fades and the relationship ends, that same man turns around and comes straight for your money. It's happening more and more now, and it's wild to watch. Back in the day, a man would just walk away. No strings, no spousal claims, no drama. But now, men are learning the same tricks women used to play. They're like, oh, you got it? Cool, I want a piece of that. Let me give you a real example. My own parents. When they divorced, my dad wasn't earning as much as my mom at the time. She wanted to keep the family home, and guess what? He let her. We had a house in Del Paso Heights, and my dad walked away from it with nothing. He could have fought for it, but he didn't because he wanted his kids to have stability. And here's what most people don't know. That house wasn't even bought through my mom's side of the family. It was my paternal grandmother, my dad's mom, who helped make it happen. She co-signed and made sure we had that home, even though my dad left it all behind when things ended. That's rare now. Most men today wouldn't do that. Nowadays, they're walking away with lawyers, paperwork, and a list of demands ready to cash in. That's how flipped the game has become. Love is starting to look more like a business deal gone wrong. And that's exactly what's different about this new generation. Men today aren't walking away empty-handed anymore. They're watching, learning, and flipping the same playbook that used to work against them. You see it in Hollywood, the music industry, sports, everywhere. A breakup isn't just heartbreak now. It's negotiation time. And in Cardi and Offset's case, this whole situation feels like the perfect example of that shift. Offset knows his worth, but he also knows Cardi's got the bigger bag, and he's not ashamed to go after it. In a world where women fought to level the playing field, now some men are realizing they can cash in on that equality too. It's a power move, whether people like it or not. But it's also a warning. When you mix love, fame, money, and ego, there's always a price to pay. Cardi thought she could control the narrative, but now it looks like the tables have turned. Offset's allegedly asking for that 70-30 split, maybe some spousal support, and possibly even a few assets, and fans are shook. Social media is on fire with debates. Some people say he's being petty, others say he's just playing her game better than she played his. Either way, it's exposing how messy celebrity relationships really get once money's involved. Because behind all the flashy posts and luxury gifts, there's usually a mountain of contracts, prenups, and resentment just waiting to explode. Now the real question is, how far will this go? If Cardi fights back, things could get even uglier. Especially with all those rumors about Stefon Diggs and the alleged baby still floating around. If any of that turns out to be true, it could completely shift the balance of power, and Offset might use it to his full advantage. Either way, this isn't just a breakup, it's a battle over pride, image, and empire. And knowing how both of them move, we're not even close to the end of this drama. The next chapter, it's about to be explosive, and you better believe we'll be watching every single update. I'm cool with starting over. Real OG move. If you love your kids, you reset and rebuild. No shame in that. In this case, Cardi B is loaded, reportedly worth around 100 million. And Offset has made some shaky money calls in the past. So yeah, he could hustle back the same way if he wanted to. But hold up, look at that pick again. Once you cross that line, you changed the whole game. Now we enemies for real. If you troll me by putting my kid in the spotlight next to another man's look, you just lit a fuse. When someone drags my child into the drama, the gloves come off. I'll go for everything, even if I don't need it. That's how people get played out. Once you make something public and it's unforgivable, the reaction is nuclear. I want it all. That's the energy. Once that line is crossed, folks don't play fair no more. Some things you just don't do in public, plain and simple. It's an unspoken rule in the streets and in showbiz. Don't bring other people's kids into your personal war. So yeah, I ain't feeling sorry for Cardi B on this one. If Cardi wanted to avoid this mess, she could have handled her image different. But then she wouldn't be Cardi B. Her brand is loud, bold, and messy sometimes. And that comes with consequences. When you live like that, you attract certain people. Offset, Stefon Diggs types, and all that comes with risks. Bottom line, you play with fire, you get burned. This is more than a breakup. It's a turf war over respect, image, and money. Stay tuned, because this saga ain't over and the receipts keep coming. And hey, if you want the hottest tea and non-stop drama, hit subscribe to Juicy Real for the real updates and raw takes. Fire.